Point of order, James Shaw.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I'd just like to view on Speaker's ruling 209/1. My understanding is that last night Maturia Ture wrote to the Speaker to ask for a ruling in relation to the legality of the nomination prior to consultation. And a letter was sent back saying that the Speaker did not have the authority to enforce that. But it seems that from this ruling that actually it is within the Speaker's gift to enforce that. And from what we've just heard from the member Fletcher Tabuto, it appears that New Zealand First was also not consulted prior to the nomination being made, which is new information. That would seem to just that it may change the nature of things from the exchange of letters last night.
I thank the member for those comments in relation to the Speaker's rulings, Standing Orders 209/1. I have sought advice and I have a written statement here which I hope will clarify it for the member. The motion asks for the House to endorse members of the Intelligence and Security Committee nominated by the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition. The process of nomination is a statutory one. The Intelligence and Security Committee Act 1996 requires the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition to make nominations, having consulted with the leaders of parties. The Speaker has no part in the statutory process, but obviously has a concern to ensure that the House operates within the law, which requires consultation to be undertaken. The House cannot make good a failure to consult. This is a matter for the Prime Minister or the Leader of the Opposition. It is they who have the statutory responsibility. It is not for the Speaker to set out what is required by way of consultation. However, it is well established that in consultation, the consulter should give the person being consulted the opportunity to be heard. It is more than simply informing a person of a decision, but beyond that we cannot be too precious about consultation in a political context. Debate in the House provides members for the opportunity to make their case. Concerns have been raised about consultation. I've advised the Leader of the Opposition of these concerns and the expectation that he will resolve them. It is always open for the House not to endorse a nomination to the Intelligence and Security Committee. If this were to happen, the Act provides for further consultation on a new nomination to be made to the House. Members may move to omit a name of a nominee, but cannot move amendments. The House does not make the appointments. It merely confirms the nominations of the Prime Minister or the Leader of the Opposition. This is a point of order. Dr. Kennedy Graham.
Thank you, sir. Speaking of the point of order, just attempting to understand and draw accurate conclusions from what you've said. Are we to understand that the two people who have the responsibility statutorily to nominate other members for the committee, and if they fail to perform their statutory obligations in that respect, the only remedy lies within the hands of those very same two people? Is that a correct understanding?
Yeah, the second paragraph, I'll just read that again. The process of nomination is a statutory one. The Intelligence and Security Committee Act 1996 requires the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition to make nominations. And in the final paragraph that I read, members may move to omit the name of a nominee but cannot move amendments. The House does not make the appointments. It merely confirms the nominations of the Prime Minister or the Leader of the Opposition.
Speak to the point of order again.
Dr Kennedy-Graham.
Thank you, sir. Well, I do conclude from what you've said, particularly from your first statement, that the only remedy for any procedural invalidity lies within the hands of the two people who have committed the procedural invalidity. Now, I draw that conclusion, and so be it. That appears to be the ruling. May I make one more point, sir?
Yes.
From what you have said, and having studied the Act, it appears to me, and no doubt you can make a ruling, and no doubt the House will, that there appears to have been a procedural invalidity committed by one of those two persons, and I presume it appears to be only in the hands of the House to make that determination, but in the event the House acknowledged that, would it then follow that if there is a procedural invalidity, the House cannot then proceed to endorse all of them, or any of them, or omit one?
No, I mentioned also in my third paragraph, the Speaker has no part in the statutory process. And if one's referring to the point that I made earlier about consultation, that's a statutory requirement. It's not a requirement for this House to determine. That can only be determined in a court. So the ruling that I've given is the ruling that stands, and I'm now calling the next speaker, David Shearer.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, underlying the issues that we are discussing today